You worked for it. Every Monday morning, you got up when you didn't want to. Every late night, every missed birthday dinner, every "I'll rest when I retire." You gave your 20s, you gave your 30s, you gave most of your 40s. And now, finally, retirement is close enough to smell. But here's what nobody tells you when you're this close to the finish line. Most people cross it wrong, not because they're lazy, not because they're stupid, but because nobody taught them the rules of the second half. Today, I'm going to show you the retirement mistakes that are quietly destroying the futures of people just like you. Smart, hardworking people who did everything they were supposed to do and yet still find themselves in trouble. Some of these will sting, some will make you angry. A few might make you cry, but I promise you, every single one of them could save your life. Let's begin.
Mistake 1, retiring without a number. Ask yourself right now and be honest. What is your number? Not a feeling, not a hope, not "I think I'll be fine." What is your number? How much do you need every single month to live the life you've imagined? Most people approaching retirement cannot answer that question. They've worked 30, 35 years, and they have no idea what it actually costs to be them. Here's why that's terrifying. Without a number, you're flying blind in a storm. You might retire too early, exhaust your savings in 8 years, and find yourself at 73 calling your kids asking for help, the very thing you swore you'd never do. Or you do the opposite. You keep working because you're scared. Even when you have more than enough and the years slip by and the grandchildren grow up and you miss it all, waiting for a number that already came. Do this today. Write down everything you spend in a month. Housing, food, transportation, medicine. Yes, especially medicine. Entertainment, gifts, travel, everything. That's your number. Now multiply it by 12. That's your year. Now multiply it by 25. That is the savings you need to retire safely. Does your current savings match that? If not, how far are you? And how much time do you have to close the gap? This is not meant to scare you. This is meant to wake you up, because knowing is power. Not knowing is the real danger.
Mistake 2, underestimating how long you'll live. I want you to think about your grandmother or your grandfather or that aunt who's still sharp at 92, still telling stories at Sunday dinner. People are living longer than any generation before them. A 65-year-old today has a very real chance of living to 85, 90, even beyond. Medical advances are adding years to lives faster than most financial plans account for. That means your retirement isn't a 10-year chapter. For many of you watching this, it is a 20, 25, even 30-year chapter. Read that again. 30 years. That's longer than some of your careers. And yet most people plan their finances as if they'll only need money for 10 or 12 years. They look at their savings, do quick math in their head, and think, yes, this is enough. It's not a math problem. It's a timeline problem. Because inflation doesn't stop when you retire.
Healthcare costs don't stop. Taxes don't stop. The bills don't care that you've stopped working. If you're 55 today and you retire at 65, you may need your money to last until you're 90. That's 25 years of funding a life with zero new income. Is your plan built for that? Or did you plan for the version of the future that feels comfortable to imagine?
3, ignoring healthcare costs. This is the one that breaks hearts. You know someone, maybe it's you, who spent their whole career working, saving, doing everything right, and then one medical event erased years of savings, almost overnight. Healthcare and retirement is the single largest expense most people never plan for. We're talking about monthly prescriptions that cost more than your first car payment, specialist visits that insurance barely touches, long-term care, and listen closely here, long-term care is not covered by most standard insurance plans. If you need to spend time in a nursing home or require in-home care, the average cost in many countries is staggering. Months of care can cost more than a year's worth of savings. And here's the cruelest part. This isn't a maybe. The statistics say that 7
Out of 10 people over 65 will need some form of long-term care at some point in their lives. 7 out of 10. That means the question isn't whether your body will need help someday. The question is, when it does, who pays for it? Do you have a plan, or are you hoping it won't happen to you? Hope is not a financial strategy. Start looking at long-term care insurance. Talk to a financial advisor about health savings accounts. Build a healthcare fund that is separate from your retirement fund. Your future self and your family will be grateful you did.
4. Taking Social Security too early. This one costs people tens, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And people do it every single day. The moment they become eligible, they claim their benefits. I might as well take it now, they say. What if I die before I get to use it? I understand that thinking. I really do. But here's the truth they don't tell you in that line. Every year you wait to claim, up to age 70, your monthly benefit grows. In many countries, waiting can increase your monthly payment by 6 to 8% per year. That means someone who claims at 62 instead of 70 could be leaving 40 to 75% of their potential monthly income on the table for the rest of their life. Think about what that means at 80, when your body needs more care. At 85, when the savings are thinning. That extra monthly income isn't just a number. It is security. It is dignity. It is the difference between living and merely surviving. Unless you have serious health concerns or financial emergencies, consider waiting. Every year you wait is money. Real, meaningful, life-changing money that will follow you for the rest of your life. 5. Not having the conversation with your family. I want to talk about something uncomfortable, and I'm going to ask you to sit with the discomfort because this might be the most important thing in this entire video. Have you told your family what you want? Not your opinions on politics, not your food preferences. I mean, have you told them what you want if something happens to you? Who gets what? Where your documents are? What your wishes are for your care if you can't speak for yourself? What kind of funeral or no funeral you want? Who has power of attorney? Most people over 50 have not had this conversation. They think, I'll do it eventually, or they'll figure it out, or even worse, I don't want to think about it. And so what happens? Families torn apart by disagreements over estates, children fighting over what mom or dad would have wanted, hard-earned savings tied up in court for years, the wrong person making life or death decisions. This is not morbid. This is love. Telling your family what you want is one of the greatest gifts you can give them. It is the final act of a parent who spent a lifetime protecting their children, even protecting them from each other. Get a will. Get a trust if you need one. Assign beneficiaries. Sign a healthcare directive. Have the conversation around the dinner table, even if it's awkward. Especially because it's awkward. Do it this month. 6. Retiring without a purpose. I saved this one for here because it doesn't get talked about enough in financial circles. And it might be the one that quietly destroys more people than all the others combined. Most people spend their entire careers looking forward to not working. When I retire, I'm going to relax. Watch TV, travel, play golf, sleep in. And for about 3 months, it's wonderful. And then something happens. The mornings start to blur together. The days feel long. The phone stops ringing as much. The sense of purpose, the thing that got you out of bed every morning, the thing that made you matter, starts to fade. The research on this is devastating. Studies consistently show that people who retire without a clear sense of purpose experience higher rates of depression, cognitive decline, and even early death than those who stay engaged. You were built to contribute. You were built to matter. That doesn't stop the day you stop collecting a paycheck. So before you retire, answer this question. Who will I be when I'm not what I do? Because for 35 years, when someone asked you, what do? You had an answer. It gave you identity, structure, belonging. Retirement doesn't erase that need. It just removes the automatic system that was filling it. What fills it now? Volunteering, teaching, mentoring, a passion project, a part-time job doing something you love, building something with your grandchildren, leading in your community. The happiest retirees I've ever seen don't just have money, they have mornings with meaning. They have somewhere to be and someone counting on them. Build that before you retire, not after, because after, the emptiness comes faster than you think. 7. Trusting the wrong people with your money. This one is hard to say, but I have to say it. People over 50 are the most targeted group for financial fraud in the world. Not because they're gullible, but because they have something everyone else is still building. They have savings. And there are people who wake up every single morning thinking of new ways to take it from you. It might come as a phone call from someone who sounds like a banker. It might come from an advisor who promises returns that sound too good to be true. Because they are. It might come from a family member who takes advantage of your trust. It might even come from a legitimate professional who has your account, but not your best interest. Here is your rule. If anyone rushes you to make a financial decision, walk away.
Real opportunities don't evaporate in 24 hours. Real advisors welcome your questions. Real investments can withstand scrutiny. Work only with fiduciaries, advisors who are legally required to act in your interest, not theirs. Get a second opinion on every major financial move. Tell a trusted family member or friend about your financial situation so they can watch for warning signs. You spent 30 years building that security. Don't give anyone the power to destroy it in 30 minutes.
8. Failing to adjust your investment strategy. When you were 35, risk was your friend. If the market dropped, you had time. You could wait it out. You could keep contributing. The market would recover, and so would your portfolio. That is not the same math at 60 or 65. If the market drops 40% the year before you retire, or the year after, and you're heavily invested in volatile stocks, you might never recover. This is called sequence of returns risk, and it destroys retirement plans every single decade. As you approach retirement, your portfolio needs to shift. More stability, more income-generating assets, less exposure to the kind of swings that keep a 35-year-old up at night. This doesn't mean you become reckless in the other direction, putting everything in a savings account earning almost nothing while inflation eats it alive. It means balance, intentional, age-appropriate balance. If you haven't had a serious conversation with a financial advisor about your investment allocation in the last 2 years, that conversation needs to happen this week. Not next month, this week.
9. Forgetting the emotional cost of retirement. Here's something no one puts on a retirement planning checklist. Retirement is a major life transition, one of the biggest you will ever face. And major life transitions bring grief. Grief for the identity you're leaving behind. Grief for the colleagues who were secretly your community. Grief for the structure that gave your days shape and meaning. Grief, sometimes, for the marriage or relationship that didn't survive the transition because suddenly you and your partner are together 24 hours a day and you realize you spent 35 years building separate lives. Retirement can be the best chapter of your story, but it can also crack things that were always slightly broken and just staying busy enough to ignore. Give yourself permission to feel the weight of this transition. It's not weakness, it's honesty. Talk to a counselor
If you need to. Many people do. More should. Build community intentionally. Friends, neighbors, groups, faith communities. Isolation in older age is as dangerous to your health as smoking. And invest in your marriage or your most important relationships now, before retirement removes the structure that was quietly holding everything together. 10. Waiting. This is the last mistake on the list, and it might be the one that is sitting on your chest right now. Waiting. Waiting to start the plan. Waiting to have the conversation. Waiting to see the advisor. Waiting until things calm down, or the kids are sorted, or work slows up. Waiting. I want you to understand something deeply. You are not 30. You are not 40. You are at the most important financial crossroads of your life. And the window to make meaningful changes is still open. but it will not stay open forever. Every month you wait to address your retirement gaps is a month you cannot get back. Every year you delay having the conversation with your family is another year of uncertainty for the people you love most. Every day you postpone purpose is a day you spend less alive than you could be. The best time to have started planning was 20 years ago.
The second best time is today. Not tomorrow, not after this video, not when you feel more ready. Today. Make one phone call, open one account, write one name down, have one conversation, one step right now. Because here's the thing about people over 50 that I find extraordinary. You have something younger people don't. You have experience. You have wisdom. You have already survived things that would have broken someone who didn't know what you know. You know that life is not guaranteed. You know that time moves faster than it should. You know what matters. Use that knowing. Retire on your terms, with dignity, with security, with purpose, with your family taken care of, with a clear mind and a full heart. You have worked too hard and come too far to let the last chapter be anything less than extraordinary.
Let's bring it all home. The mistakes we talked about today are not about blame. They're about awareness, because you cannot fix what you don't see. Now you see. The question is what you do with what you've seen. If this video helped you, if something in here landed and shifted something in your chest, share it with a sibling, with a friend, with your spouse, with whoever in your life is standing at the same crossroads and needs someone to take them by the hand and say, you still have time, but only if you start now. I believe in your second half. Make it count.